Okay, welcome to Game Soup. My name's Joe.
Wait, are we recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh,
Because look at this.
Here we go.
Okay, so what we did, we inserted into the name your card field, we inserted a Charles Bukowski poem, an entire poem, and we wanted to see what it would turn out for us as far as a Magic the Gathering card goes. We're here. We're looking at urza.ai once again, and we're generating randomly generated AI generated Magic the Gathering cards. And this is a poem called, I think, The Fallen Heart, something Heart, and it starts with "Your life is your life, don't let it be," etc., etc. And this is what it generated for us.
It's speechless.
It's fucking nothing. We don't know what the casting cost is. It might not even have a casting cost. Is this even illegal? Is it even legal to play this card? It does not have a card type. So we don't know the speed with which you can play this card. Is it a land? I have no idea. So we've got another card generated here. This is our first time looking at it. Joe did name this one. He typed it in, and we saw what the name was. That's all we have so far. So Ed's going to introduce us to this card.
So I have not seen it yet. Here we go. It is Traversal Beetle Bruiser Bastard Fleeing. It's a creature, insect, with a 3/2. Now listen. When Vorchi Spout emerges from the wood or the unmistakable tunnels of the Brazen Coalition, both Dromoka and Dromoka Talk make multiple other dodger attacks. Wow! That's incredible. Yeah, there's a lot of complex mechanics happening here.
Okay.
We still have to rate this. So
We do have to rate the card. We don't know the casting cost either.
No.
So no, we can't see the casting cost. We have no idea what the casting cost is. I'm gonna assume that let's just say it's 3 mana.
Okay.
We're just gonna call it 3 mana.
When he emerges from the wood or the unmistakable tunnels, they can make multiple other dodger attacks. That seems really powerful. That seems really powerful if you can make a good deck with it. So probably maybe like again a B, maybe along the same lines as a Zoo deck, possibly maybe B minus.
I mean, we obviously have no idea what it does.
Yeah.
We don't. Vorce Sprout isn't a thing. There's no abilities. There's no real abilities listed here. Dromoka is, I believe, that's a dragon in Magic the Gathering, though. So I think we're gonna have to go ahead and give it a straight A.
Wow.
We're gonna have to give it a full A here. We could also actually generate another one using the same input. I did take one of the words out, but
Even better.
let's see what it gives us. Traversal Beetle Bruiser Fleeing Yarn. Oh, this word was trigger. Let's see what the word is. It's got to generate. It's got to finish generating our wonderful card here. Fleeing Yarn Trigger. Whoops. Fleeing Yarn Trigger Master. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, it's a creature. It's a human rogue, obviously. It's not a beetle. It's a 2/2. When traveling, whenever a creature you control dies, target creature you control gains +1/+1 at the end of turn. Reasonable. What is traveling?
I'm going to assume it's if you're playing Magic in a car, a train, a plane.
Yeah.
I think that's how I would interpret it. Traveling is not a mechanic in Magic the Gathering, but traveling is a mechanic in real life, and it is something that can be done while you're playing Magic the Gathering.
This is the best card I've ever seen. Anytime you're in the air or in a car, anytime one of your creatures dies, you get to put a +1/+1 until the end of turn on another card. I'm going to give it an A.
Sure, we don't know the casting cost on it,
Right.
But I'm going to assume that it's 1, which is going to make it an S rank because it only costs 1 mana and it's a 2/2 with a really cool ability. All right, so we're gonna put Ed on the spot again. Ed can create a card. It doesn't need to be a real long one again. We've done a bunch of long, goofy ones, but if you think there's going to be something that's going to give us something really interesting here.
The Devouring Antichrist of Trapeze.
Maybe we'll actually get to see the casting cost on this one because it's not as long.
I hope it makes an interesting card.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so it's a 3, cost 3 plus a blue. Now the creature type is Antichrist.
That's okay. Don't look at that image. I feel like that. Oh wow, it's over the top of a city too. Look how big it is.
It's only a 2/2. It's not even that strong.
Yeah, it's not very strong at all.
But
it costs 4 fucking mana to summon this thing.
It's flying though, so it does have flying over the city. Now, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control.
Okay.
Worthy of a true Antichrist. It sounds really powerful. But it has to be in play, right? So I don't know. I would probably give it an A.
Unfortunately,
Oh no.
you're wrong.
Oh, no.
It's not going to be an A in constructed or limited. It does look good, but it costs 4 mana, which puts it out of the running for modern or legacy. Possibly standard in the right deck, but probably not. It costs too much for too little, and you need to have a board full of creatures. And you know how in Hearthstone it can be kind of hard to keep a board full of creatures. Magic's kind of the
Right.
same way, although you can't directly attack other minions. But to get a board where this is going to really benefit you. Now, you could play it and then play a non-creature spell, but that's going to cost you more mana in most cases, and then buff it up to a 3/3, which is closer to being on par with a 4 mana spell. But generally, for 4 mana, you probably want a 4/4 flying. So it's pretty understated. So the ability doesn't necessarily make up for it. In limited, this might fit in a deck that the format is built to accommodate. So in limited, this could maybe be like a B- card.
Okay.
So that's going to be our rating for Devouring Antichrist of Trapeze. Let's try. I got one. Infernal Racket.
Oh yeah.
If you guys don't know, that was the first game published by GameSoup.
I also had a good idea recently for a similarly titled game. I'll tell you about it when we're not recording. There it is. Look at that. Yeah, it's a thing. It's an artifact. Costs 3, but it's 3 of anything, right? Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card. Reasonable.
So it's more non-creature spell. There's a lot of whenever you cast a non-creature spell triggers that this thing seems to really want to come up with today.
And I don't know much about Magic, but I believe artifacts stay in play until they're destroyed.
Yep. Yeah, artifacts, they're harder to kill than creatures. There's less removal generally for them. So this is probably going to stick on the board for most of the game.
That's pretty crazy. So anytime you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card. I mean, that sounds powerful. That does sound powerful. I'm going to give it an A-.
Yeah, I think this could possibly be abused in a combo deck, particularly maybe a storm deck. It does cost 3 mana, so that's a little bit slow to get it out. And also, we haven't been talking about Commander at all in this series, but in Commander, this could also help you combo off. So generally, this isn't going to be that useful just thrown in any deck, but in the right deck, this is probably going to be an A+ S rank card. This might get banned.
I also want to point out the flavor text in this one. It no longer fires during the second and third nights of each year. What could have happened?
The second and third nights of each year, but every other night. The first and the fourth through 365th, no problems.
Fair game.
All right, Inferno Racket. Should we make one more Inferno Racket?
Yeah,
Let's try Inferno Racket one more time.
I feel like the word infernal is probably going to generate a lot of potentially interesting cards.
Yeah,
because,
it
right? I mean, I don't really know how AI generation works, but I assume that the more words you use that are closer to the pool of things that it knows about.
Yeah, I think that might be the case. Okay.
Okay, so it costs 3.
This is really similar. It's
Wow.
it's another artifact that costs 3 and has a trade ability.
So it's an artifact. Whenever you cast a black spell, exile target creature. Okay, exile means graveyard or something?
No, exile means removed from the game entirely. No chance of it coming back at all for the rest of the entire game.
Whenever you cast a black spell.
A black spell also means a creature or a non-creature spell. Any card that's got a black border on it.
So anytime you use a black card, choose any creature and just dump it.
Yeah.
I can't even, and this is an artifact.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to have to say A.
It ends up as a symbol of death.
It does.
So yeah, this is going to be at least an A-. Again, 3 mana is a little bit slow for modern or legacy or old formats, but yeah, this is. I mean, and in limited, this is going to be like an S. This is creatures. I mean, yeah, the limited format revolves around creatures. This is completely broken in any limited limited set. This is going to be in, I would imagine. So, yeah, this is very, very powerful. So
This card feels like what it's like to play to bowl with those rubber gutters on each side. That's what this reminds me of.
yeah, it's pretty much just makes you win against any deck that has creatures in it, which is most Magic decks. But yeah, a lot of the constructed formats, this is going to be easier to remove, and also there's going to be less creatures. Like some decks aren't going to run any creatures at all. But yeah, regardless, this is going to be at least a sideboard card in a lot of decks, even in old formats. So let's do one more. You want to do one more? You want to do one? Why don't you type one in?
Okay. I'm going to make it...
Ed's going to do one more.
I have no idea what the criteria are to make a good one, but I'm going to make a good one. Okay.
Or maybe you do a word and I do a word.
That's a good
you want to... Okay, we'll trade off. Unchallenged.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll call it unchallenged. I'm just going to go frog.
Sure.
And then Ed will do one, and then I'll do one. We'll make it 4 words. Beast. Okay. What's a pool player? What's the name of a pool player?
Billiards man.
A billiardman? We'll just call it billiard. We'll just use the word billiard.
Sure.
Okay. Unchallenged, frog, beast, billiard. Now, frog and beast, those are terms that are frequently used in Magic, but unchallenged and billiard are not.
Billiards man is also not a thing. I'm sure you knew that. Okay. I mean, the results seem reasonable. It's an unchallenged frog beast billiard. It's a creature. It's a frog beast, obviously. It's only 1/1. Sure. Whenever you cycle a card, you may put a 1/1 counter on target creature.
And it costs 3 mana for a 1/1.
Yeah. Oh, I missed the cost. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, it costs 2 and a blue. Yeah. For a 1/1. Whenever you cycle a card. This seems like a Murloc card in some way. Whenever you cycle, what does it mean to cycle a
Now,
card?
cycling is there are certain cards in the game that have an ability called cycling followed by a cost. Usually the cost is 1 or 2 mana, and then you discard the card and you draw another card. So it lets you pitch the card if you don't need it right now, and you get a new card. So whenever you do that, you get a trigger here where you get to put a +1/+1 counter on any creature.
Well, it is a creature, not an artifact. I'm gonna give it a D. It doesn't seem that good.
Yeah, I'm going to tend to agree with you. It's about a D. Yeah, because for 3 mana, you're expecting to hopefully at least get a 3/3 with upside. So this guy could become a 3/3 if you're able to pitch 2 cards to it. But a 1/1 dies really easily. So if they kill it, then if they kill it before you get to cycle anything, you're going to be shit out of luck. You're not going to be able to make use of that mana. You're going to lose a lot of tempo, and it's not going to be a good time. So yeah, I'm going to agree with Ed's assertion that it's a D.
Can we talk about the amazing picture in here? Like, it knows that we wanted to see a frog, right?
Yeah.
It's got the lily pads.
Yeah.
And, like, the weird amphibious eyes.
Yeah,
it's a really good picture.
AI is getting terrifying. The images that it can create. It's not very good yet at creating likenesses of human faces, especially in... I mean, it can take a photo and sort of put a filter through it, put a couple filters through it, and make it it'll still look like a person and it'll look like a painting, but it can't generate out of its own head like a pose of a human being with correct anatomy, especially on the face and on the head, and make it look reasonable. Like, it's really far off from being able to do that. But yeah, as far as creating abstract images like similar to like this, where it's things that look sort of like frogs, and it makes kind of disturbing images. They're unnerving to me to look at, because they're things that most of the time you can tell like a human probably would not have come up with this.
It's even
It would be
more
a disturbed human being.
Yeah. I mean, go check out some of those DALL-E 2 images that it generates. It knows how to do animals almost perfectly.
Yeah, there's some things on there that are pretty scary that are going to put a lot of us artists out of business.
Yeah.
But if your job can be taken over by a machine, if your job as an artist could be taken over by a machine, were you ever really an artist? We like you.